How do you start a conversation with a woman? Since the early days of the internet, this has been one of the most searched questions in many formats, and it makes sense. According to a recent study, 63% of single people believe that making the first move has never been so difficult. For many, the rules of the game are too unclear, and they're likely right. In most places, no one teaches you how or when to approach someone who might become very important in your life. But that's not true for the Dong ethnic minority. They have it pretty clear, and they don't even need words to do it. Join us as we visit the largest settlement of this ancient culture where love doesn't begin with words but with a song. Welcome to Zhaoxing. Arriving at this town is a very interesting experience because this is the only town where you have to buy a ticket before they let you in. And that made me think that maybe it was an amusement park, like a tribute to the Dong culture. But after doing some research, I realized that it's a completely real town. It's not an amusement park. This is where the Dong have lived for hundreds of years. But through a rural revitalization program run by the government and poverty alleviation through tourism, they turned this village, which was already in decline, into an international level tourist attraction. And over the years, it has become more and more famous. And there are people from all over the world who come to learn about the culture and see how people live in this place. I think it's great, and they're doing it across the country. Lately, we've visited many places where there were practically no young people left because they went to look for opportunities in bigger cities. And that meant leaving their homes, families, and the place they grew up to go elsewhere. And that brought a lot of problems. On one hand, it was diluting the culture, dialects were disappearing, and on the other hand, entire towns were also disappearing, left in decline, because the grandparents can't provide the maintenance they need. But to address the problem, the government started training local people to become tour guides, to work in hotels and restaurants, and gave them resources to start businesses in their local towns. This has been successful here and elsewhere in China. And it's gotten to the point that nowadays there are young people from big cities who want to move to these kinds of places. And many other young people choosing to return, to start the family business or to take over a shop, a restaurant around here. From what I understand, here almost all the employees or business owners have to be local people. But let's see if that's true, since we know places like Yangshuo allowed much outside investment. Suddenly, a wealthy businessman from Shanghai would arrive, buy 3 shops and a hotel, then develop the area. Many local businesses complained they weren't benefiting from the economic spillover. So let's see what's going on around here. We're just entering the village, and the views are already impressive because of the wooden buildings that are built on the slopes of the mountain. And that makes it look like there's a building built on top of another one. And each one has many floors. Many of them are hotels and many others are restaurants and shops, but there are also the homes of the locals. Let's see if we're lucky enough to go inside one and see how the locals live. See, there go the park employees, ni hao. Behind, there's a girl dressed in traditional Dong clothing, which Noelia will most likely try on today. She loves wearing local clothes everywhere we go, and now you have quite a collection, right?
Yes, it's just that I really think it's a beautiful way to capture the place where you were, what the culture was like there, how people dress. For example, in this area they use a lot of silver. So many of the traditional outfits have silver things, silver headdresses, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, they're everywhere. Look, here's one. The competition is right across the street.
The minority didn't used to wear this. They've changed it now to make photos look more aesthetic.
Hi, are you locals? Where are you from?
Dong.
Are you from Dong too?
Yes.
Wonderful, we are of foreign ethnicity.
All right, Blondie.
This is a drum tower, which is very typical here. They are completely made of wood and usually serve as gathering places for the community. It's where they hold their assemblies, where they come to sing their songs, and where they come to celebrate all kinds of events. I read that the Dong ethnic minority has the most festivals each year. Is that the lyrics?
Yes, just the lyrics.
Are they singing in Mandarin or in their dialect?
In the dialect, Dong.
Oh, in Dong. What we're seeing right now is something you can hardly find anywhere else in the world because these are the polyphonic songs of the Dong ethnic minority. And singing is so valued in this culture that children learn to sing even before they learn to speak. Because here singing is a way to communicate not only with other people but also with nature and with your ancestors. Polyphonic singing works as follows. Instead of everyone singing the same melody, each person sings a different line. One voice may carry the main melody, while others surround it, respond to it, or support it from below with long notes. Let's say that each voice is independent, but at the same time they're all connected as if they were threads weaving a single sonic web. The result is a living harmony, with textures that change and breathe to the rhythm of the group, but the most impressive thing of all is that there is no conductor or sheet music. This tradition is preserved solely through oral transmission. That's why you could say that the singing sessions are a kind of improvisation where everything is about listening, memory, and heart. Additionally, there are 3 types of singing. The first is dage, meaning big singing. And it's a polyphonic singing style that has different themes such as mythology, epic stories or legends, and even some that imitate birds, animals, or insects. The second is duoye, which is round singing and is usually done while dancing in a circle with synchronized movements. The third is xiaoke, meaning small singing, and it's somewhat more romantic. And it's a courting song that's sung at private gatherings where usually the boy wants to win over the girl. But it could also be the other way around since this is a society that also tends toward matriarchy. But I'll tell you more about that later. When you visit a traditional village of an ethnic minority in China, the last thing you expect to find is a street full of bars and nightclubs like the one here. Although it may not seem like it, everything lights up at night and gets noisy. Each bar blasts music at full volume, seemingly competing for attention and customers from across the street. We had seen all kinds of markets and electric carts, but I had never seen a bicycle that sold meat. How much does it cost?
14 yen for half a kilo.
14 yuan for half a kilo of pork. I wanted to compare prices with Shenzhen to see if things are more expensive or cheaper, but I can't tell if I'm getting the foreigner price. Jazz, how much is pork in Mexico City?
It depends on the store, but smoked pork chop costs between 90 and 140 per kilo.
Well, leave it in the comments. How much does pork cost in your towns? Jazz just realized that in this town all the signs are in yellow. And apparently it's not a coincidence, but rather a pretty strict government regulation to maintain harmony among the different buildings and to make everything look nice. They do that in Mexico City too, right?
Because it's not a magical town.
But in downtown Coyoacan, it's not that there's a color palette, but there are certain regulations around the Zocalo in the historic center. There are also certain regulations. That's why you sometimes see aluminum silver logos like McDonald's or 7-Eleven making everything look very different. And in the end, it looks ugly.
The McDonald's logo never looks ugly. That's not true.
And then since the McDonald's logo is yellow, it would match.
Yeah, but I hope we never get a McDonald's here because you end up going in like this. To some really cool towns in China, and in the middle of what seems like a paradise of the local ethnic minority, you find the evil M. Hello, do you have breakfast?
Yes.
You have noodles, dumplings, and what's that?
This is what we eat. If you want, you can try it.
Oh, is it a local dish?
Yes.
Is it meat?
Yes, it's pork.
Pork. Look, this is like local pork meat. Oh, it's a bit spicy. And what's that white thing?
It's zirgan.
This is a root called zirgan. I'm going to regret what I'm about to do, but in fact, I already regret it. I've seen a lot of local people with his hairstyle.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, it's a local hairstyle. Young people already wear their hair loose, like her.
Like Noelia. Young people don't do it now.
Yes, it's a bit uncomfortable. It's a tradition of the Dong minority.
While we were walking around, I was really struck by the different hairstyles of the women in this village. And if you didn't see the previous video, we visited a village where the Yao ethnic minority lives. And they're famous for holding the Guinness World Record for the longest hair in the world because in their tradition, hair has a lot of meanings and they take care of their hair throughout their entire lives. But apparently the Dong have a lot of similarities. Since in this village, hair tells you a lot about a person, from their marital status to their age. And it also tells you about the region of Guizhou they belong to. If you've noticed, throughout the video we've seen many women with huge buns on their heads and different types of hairstyles. Each one conveys information. Have you never cut your hair?
No, we Dong people don't do that. Sometimes we use a wool hat to cover it.
And do you comb your hair every day?
That's right.
And isn't it hard to wash your hair?
Yes, a little. With the hair dryer, it dries quickly. Yes, it doesn't take too long.
Don't you cut your hair when you turn 18?
No, of course not.
Is her hairstyle different?
Yes, it's different.
You haven't cut your hair either?
Never.
In general, there are 3 types of hairstyles. The first is called Bianji, and it's for girls and teenagers who haven't reached marriageable age yet. And usually 2 braids are used, quite simple. Until recently, these were widely used, but talking to some locals, they told us that this is falling out of use because of modernization, social media, and the fact that many people are going to big cities and coming back. Nowadays, young women usually wear their hair loose just like anywhere else in the world, and in a way the tradition is fading. But the other 2 types of hairstyles are still seen a lot. And the next one is the daji, which is a high bun with silver ornaments, usually worn by women of marriageable age, to attract the attention of suitors and also to let them know that they are available and of age to look for a partner. Finally, there's the Fuji, a bun covered with cloth that I haven't seen as much this time. In fact, we saw it more in the village yesterday. They likely have much in common, but their language is very different. Can you teach me a little of your language?
Nyalai means hello.
Just Nialai Nialai. How do you say brother or buddy?
Dainong.
Can you teach me a phrase from everyday life?
You can say, I'm in a good mood today. It's said as Manayo Saikwan.
Manayo Saikwan.
Yes, Saikwan.
How do you say fregon?
Fregon.
And delicious?
It's pronounced Laizan.
These seem more like foreign languages than dialects. I asked some ladies to speak to me in their local dialect and I didn't understand them at all because there are many dialects that are similar to Mandarin. But that's not the case with the Dong ethnic minority. But going back to the topic of hairstyles, I find it very interesting how much information they can convey just with their hair, but I find it even more interesting that they're not the only ones who do this. Like the Yao, who not only cut their hair just once in their lives, but also keep and use their childhood hair for life, braided together with the other. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave the link here, it's really good. They even taught Noelia how to wash her hair with rice water, which is a custom that both minorities have in common.
This is me.
Oh.
This is from when we do presentations.
You're famous on the internet.
Well, I upload videos, but I'm not famous.
What's your TikTok?
My name is Yin Chang Mei. These are the clothes of our ethnic group. Now we're doing very well with tourism, but most of the young people have left to work in other cities. Here you can only work in agriculture, and it's very tiring. When we go to the mountains, we carry a lot of things. It's a lot of hustle and bustle.
Don't you want to take the girl with you?
Where to?
Abroad.
She said, why not take me abroad with you instead?
What do you mean abroad?
Yes, take her with you.
Why?
I'll sell her to you. I don't want her anymore.
Ah, you don't want her.
Let your brother have her. I don't want her.
Do you want to sell her to me?
Yes. Or to one of your brothers, whatever works.
I have 2 brothers. What an interesting conversation I just had. I sat for about half an hour with the lady from the hotel who was telling me all sorts of things. From how her life has changed to how life here in the village has changed. And the thing is, she comes from the mountains. She's not local. She comes from a village that's 10 kilometers from here. Back then it was like being in another country. Did you speak Mandarin as a child? You speak it very well.
No, I only speak a little and didn't attend school.
So how did you learn?
By talking with the guests at my hotel. Also with the television and phone.
Can his sister?
She speaks less than I do. We grew up in a poor village.
Isn't there less poverty in China now?
Yes, but we're from the mountains. It's a poor village. You have to walk to get there. We don't even have a house, just small huts. We didn't have a single yuan back then.
That bad?
Yes, we ate whatever we could grow at home.
Wasn't there any meat?
We only bought it on New Year's, half a kilo. Have you heard about the vouchers?
Yes, the ones provided by the government.
Well, that was our money. This one is very old, from 40 or 50 years ago.
From the year 1966. Wow, my dad was born in 63.
You see, it's very old.
This is a treasure today. How old was he when he arrived here?
At 20 years old,
So he's been here for about 30 years? It's changed a lot, I suppose.
that's right. This place was always prosperous, but now it's even better.
Her story is fascinating. She came to this town through marriage, but if she's from such a remote village, how did she meet her husband? I asked, and she shared one of the most interesting stories I've heard in a long time.
There were groups of men who came to our village looking for wives. They would talk to us and we would sing together. After singing and having fun together for a while, they would ask for the hand of the girl they liked.
At that moment, we didn't know it, but what the lady was describing to us is a fundamental ritual for the young people of the Dong ethnic minority known as Xingezhuoye, or as it translates into English, walking while singing and sitting under the moon. This is an extremely important ritual for them because through it they meet their future husband or wife. But how does this ritual work? It usually takes place once the rice harvest season is over, which is when people are less busy and have more time to socialize. In the case of the girls, they are usually from the same village, they are local people, and in the case of the boys, they usually come from villages that are sometimes quite far away, with the sole purpose of finding their soulmate. Now, this ritual doesn't happen just once, but takes place over several nights, during which the young people sit under structures like the drum towers, which in the local language are known as moon towers, and they are made specifically for the purpose of carrying out the ceremony. These gatherings are usually held at night with women wearing their finest traditional clothing, including the silver crown, to look as beautiful as possible. And in the case of the men, they bring their best instruments and get ready to sing from the bottom of their hearts. And as the lady already told us, the gathering is practically a singing session. And between each song, people have time to socialize, to chat, and to get to know each other in an environment that's appropriate for it, which can be quite different from how we flirt in the West. So, in a way, you could say that these gatherings are the Tinder of the Dong ethnic minority. Did your sister also meet her husband like that?
That's right.
But do you agree to marry him from the day you see him?
No, at first we didn't talk to each other, but he stayed in the village for a while.
So you saw each other several times?
Yes, several times.
You were dating.
Yes, but not like you guys. It was in groups of 6 to 8 people.
So it wasn't one-on-one?
That came later. You play the pipa, and I sing by your side. Then you call the village matron to tell her that you like me. And then she tells me if I agree to marry you. And if I accept, we get married. And that's how it was.
Do you have children?
Yes, 3 children.
And are they married?
Not yet. They're still in school. One is grown up, but I haven't found a partner for him yet.
How old is he?
30.
In the case of girls, what would be an appropriate age for marriage?
After the age of 20, up to 3 years after the wedding. For example, in the case of your wife, she would go live with you in the 4th year.
Up to 4 years? During these 4 years, Noelia is only allowed to come to my house to eat and then go back to hers. And 4 years after the marriage, she can move in with me, and we could start a family, have children, and live our lives as a formal couple recognized by the rest of the town. This is completely different from how we do it in our country. And I told her the story of how Noelia and I met and how Noelia and I lived together for 2 or 3 years before getting married. And she couldn't believe it. She said, "That's crazy, that's so wild." So I asked her what it's like for women nowadays. And she told me that it's much freer now, that many of them find husbands through internet apps. But at the same time, values are still very much preserved and women still aren't that open in that regard. But it really has changed a lot. The town of Zhaoxing is impressive. But none of this would have been possible if it weren't for the construction of the Gongjiang bullet train station, which is just 10 minutes away. And the Chinese have a very famous saying that goes, "Yao xiangfu, xianxiu lu," which means, if you want to get rich, first build roads. And that's exactly what they've done as part of this poverty alleviation program through tourism. Since these kinds of projects always come with the necessary infrastructure. For example, this station, which was inaugurated in 2014 with the intention of putting Zhaoxing on the map, and all the surrounding areas that were previously very difficult to access. And before the bullet train, getting here was an odyssey that required several days of travel, passing through mountainous areas. and not many people were willing to do it, especially because they didn't have a reason to. But since this bullet train station was inaugurated, it has not only brought great economic benefits, but it is also helping to spread the local culture. And what I like the most is that the train station is a true tribute to Dong culture. If you notice, all the buildings around it respect the local architecture. The pillars of this fountain also have many images that reflect the culture. This is the view that greets you at this beautiful place. If you get the chance to visit Zhaoxing, don't miss it. It's now convenient, affordable, and unforgettable. See you next video. Goodbye.